Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Depending on where you are in this world, God bless you. This is Gloria White coming to you from Utah, USA. Today we're going to continue in the book of Ezekiel in the Old Testament, in the King James Version of the Holy Bible, and we are in chapter 9. Now here, God is going to pour out his wrath upon the people in Israel. Remember, in chapter 8, he had Ezekiel dig in the wall and all the creeping things and abominable beast, all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed upon the wall round about. They stood in dark chambers with their images or their false idols, worshiping them in the dark, like God couldn't see them. And the women weeping for Tammuz, the goddess of fertility. Oh my goodness, such wickedness. God called them abominations. And here, in chapter 9, he's going to he's going to dispense his justice. Now, here, chapter 9, he's speaking to Ezekiel. He cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, Cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand, or his deadly weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, or the upper gate, which lieth, or faces toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon, with his battle axe in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side or at his waist. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. And the glory of the God of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house or the temple. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark, or put a mark, upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst hereof. And to the others he said in mine hearing, where Ezekiel could hear, Go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and all women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary, his temple. Then they began at the ancient men, the elders which were before the temple. And he said unto them, Defile the house, and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth. And they went forth and slew in the city. And it came to pass, while they were slaying them, and I was left, and I fell upon my face and cried, and said, Ah, Lord God, wilt thou destroy all the residue or the remnant of Israel in thy pouring out of thy fury upon Jerusalem? Then said he unto me, The iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great, and the land is full of bloodshed, and the city full of perverseness. For they say, The Lord hath forsaken the land, and the Lord seeth not. And as for me also, mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense, or repay, their way upon their head. And behold, the man clothed with linen, which had the inkhorn by his side, reported the matter, saying, I have done as thou hast commanded me. But this was for all that wickedness that they thought they were doing, that they thought they were doing in secret. But the Lord saw them. And here, here. And the glory of the God of Israel was gone up from the cherub. The cherub, he pulled himself out of the temple, whereupon he was to the threshold of the house, to the threshold of the temple. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's ink horn by his side, and told him to mark those that wept and cried about the abominations, that called out to God, saying, Oh, mercy, Lord, help us. Look at all this wickedness. And it was just tearing their hearts apart. And the Lord came and said, put a mark on those men's forehead. And the rest of them, wipe them out. Don't spare any of them. My justice is being poured out. And so it was. And so it will be at the end times. So for those of us who pray and keep his commandments and practice his ways and his precepts, those of us who cry out in prayer against all the wickedness that we see coming upon our world, that's what we want. We want the mark on our forehead that shows that we are children of God. And we have to be very conscientious, and we have to be very careful now in these days, because there are many who are against the children of God, where we need to be wise as serpents and gentle as doves. Therefore, choose your words wisely when you speak. Don't tell all your secrets to everyone around you. Be very careful who you trust. Friend, remember? Okay. And just stay in prayer. Keep mindful occupation. Occupy. We're to occupy till he comes. Either we will leave this world before he comes, or he'll gather us together with him in the air when he does. And as always, I love you.